Are you planning on spending time with your family this holiday? Is someone in your family a little bit narcissistic or maybe a lot? If you are, then you know that holidays can really suck. That when you're with a narcissistic family member, whether it's a mother, a father, a brother, an uncle, um, there's pressure, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that's going to happen. And we're expecting holiday cheer, lots of family fun, let's play board games, peace on earth, right? That never happens in a narcissistic family. There's always drama and fear and crazy stuff that you're going to have to experience. So my name is Tracy Malone, and I'm going to talk to you today about deciding to go and what strategies you should use if you're going to plan to see your family for the holidays. Um, step one. Step one is figuring out, do I really want to go? It's such a simple, basic question, but it's amazing how many people just feel obligated. They just go because I've always gone. It's just what we do. And you just go. And then it's hell. And you are not having a good time. And you know that everyone's going to get back to the office on Monday and talk about their holiday weekend. And you're going to be like, I had craziness. You wouldn't believe what happened, right? So this is the first step. Am I doing it out of fear, guilt, obligation? Or am I doing it for another reason, right? Like mom might be the narcissist, but you really want to see your brother and sister. You want to see your nieces and nephew. Then you have good reason to decide to go. But you still need to have some kind of protection built in so that this does not turn into World War III. So what do we do then? After we've decided to go, I think the next step is to understand what your triggers are. Your triggers in the family are legacy triggers. They are things that, they do every single year. It's things that you probably know if you sat down, started to journal about it and think about what kind of crazy can I expect? And what do they do that triggers me? These days, I'll just use this. It's nothing to do with the holidays, but politics is a huge trigger for families. If you have a different belief than, say, dad does, or your cousin or your uncle, and it's about politics, what about setting a boundary? Mom, I'd really love to come, but I know our uncle's coming and he tends to go on the politics and the whole rant. Can we make that like an unsafe topic, not allowed for the holiday, and just all agree that we will not bring any politics into the Christmas table? If you can set a boundary like that, that's removing one of your triggers, right? That's removing some of the crazy drama. But it's a start. We just start with something. We start and decide that I don't want that, because that never ends well. So safe topics are part of that as well. The safe topics are, just like we said, the triggers might be connected to the safe topics, but if you do not want to reveal anything, it's kind of like gray rock. Telling them things that you think that they would be interested in is one thing, right? We think that they'll care, and then when they don't, or they shut you down, then you feel terrible. So do we need to tell them that you've got a new job or you've got this big project in the works? Decide on what information you want to give them, especially at a table, a dinner where you can be attacked or interrogated by other family members. So picking that out is going to start you. An escape plan is also really helpful. Mom, I'd love to come, but I don't like to drive when it's too late. So how about I can stay, from noon till 6, but then I want to get on the highway to avoid traffic, or I want to get on the highway to blank, right? You make the excuses and you set up that time boundary to say, this is all the time I have, because it sets it up and it moves things along because you're not going to be there. So thinking about that and having the escape plan built in is really helpful. Do you guys know what protective contact is? This is when, let's say, you and your spouse are going to the family dinner, and mom's the narc in this case. So don't ever leave me alone with mom is what protective contact is. So whether it's your spouse who notices, oh, ooh, they're over there with mom, I better go interrupt. Because, a narcissist doesn't like to abuse in front of other people, or not as much. So being the isolated like person there, they've got more opportunity to just stab you with a knife once in a while. Not really a knife, you know what I mean? Just get you and be upset with you. So knowing that someone was there, if you don't have a spouse that you're going with, can your brother watch? Can your father watch? Make sure that you're never alone with the narc so that you are protected. That's protected contact. Another thing that people make this big mistake is liquid courage. I'm going to go and I'm going to have a couple glasses of wine because I can't possibly relax at that family's house. It is going to be crazy, right? But liquid courage makes us more vulnerable. It makes us more sensitive. It makes us make decisions that we might not have made if we didn't have 4 glasses of wine. Just know what your limits are. You don't want to get too emotional. You don't want to get too wrangled into conversations that are dead end. You're going to lose in the family discussions. Liquor and alcohol is going to make that vulnerability come out. Then we go back to setting, your own boundaries. Again, we talked about the boundary of the topics, and the boundary of time. I'm only going to be there till 6. But what other boundaries could you possibly set? These are off limit topics is a boundary. This is, I don't want to be sitting next to my crazy brother, or mom, I really want to be at the other side of the table from dad. Whatever it is, you set the boundaries so that you have a better chance of making it through. Those are the keys to this, right? And gray rocking the information that you give them is another vital part, because if, again, you think that they're going to care about you have a new project at work and then nobody's even listening, it's going to make you feel terrible. So what do you want to tell them? What's a thing I want to tell them, and what's things I just don't even want to open the Pandora's box? Keep that in mind. Always remember, if they are asking you, say, tell me about that project, and you don't want to talk about it, the answer is, I really don't want to talk about that. It's the holidays. Let's just go have some eggnog without alcohol. Change the subject and don't engage in a conversation that you already put on your list that isn't safe. I don't want to talk about that. This is in your head. It's not that you present it to mom before you come, but it is something that if we have these steps, we are going to be safer and it's going to be more successful. The other thing is to self-care. Please remember that, if you are triggered and they are just getting you all wound up, and you said you'd stay till 6, your boundaries are still, it's 4:00 and this just sucks. I'm leaving. If anyone pushes you to anger and you don't want to be angry, okay, this is where I think I'll take a time out. I'm going to go sit in the family room for a few minutes, take a couple deep breaths and chill out. That's self-care. It's removing yourself from the situation, but not necessarily the whole house, right? So this is how we handle and some of the strategies that we have to get through the holidays with our family. This is Tracy Malone, the founder of NarcissistAbuseSupport.com. If you are looking for answers, there's lots of them there. And we have lots of resources for pretty much anything you might need. So thank you so much for listening. If you haven't liked my channel, please like the video, follow me, and I will see you again. Thanks and happy holidays.